Hello. I bet you can't even see me. Well, that's the idea, my friends. You see, this video's a little rant I'm going to do about fear. Superstition, go away. We wear the mark fear. A horn salute to Lord Dio. Alright. Let me just get right into it. You see, fear is totally fucking unneeded. You wanna know why? It's irrational. Phobias, yes, phobias. We all know the word phobia, meaning irrational fear. It pisses me the fuck off to know that there are people out there with some of the stupidest fucking phobias that you could ever imagine, and that you could never imagine. Like those people who are afraid of centipedes, for no reason other than the fact that centipedes are just seemingly just because centipedes are there. You see, I'm not afraid of centipedes. Now, I like centipedes. Now, of course, I wouldn't want to find one in my breakfast cereal, because I have to eat the cereal, and I do not eat centipedes, and I do not know where the centipede has been, and I do not know how clean it is. But I do have an immune system. Of course, I just wouldn't risk it. But I'm not afraid of centipedes. I'm a motherfucking monster. But I'm not afraid of centipedes. So why are you afraid of centipedes if you are? Is it because, I don't know, they have more legs than you do and an exoskeleton? Well, gee, if that's the case, you might as well be afraid of parrots because they have wings and feathers. Now, granted, you should be a little wary of parrots. I've learned from living on this earth to never, ever trust anything or anyone that speaks. And if you've ever heard of Alex the Parrot, you know why parrots should be watched, but not feared. There's no real reason to fear a parrot. Unless one tries to peck your eyes out when you're 4. I wouldn't get over that for quite a while, if ever. But the fact is, you may probably have to deal with parrots again in some degree. So what's the point I'm making here? Get the fuck over it! Get the fuck over whatever may scare you. Because sooner or later you are going to have to deal with it again. You see, fear largely stems from a lack of understanding. So, if you don't like centipedes because you don't understand them, do your fucking homework! Research them! Go to Wikipedia, type in centipede, see what you get, learn about them. Now me, I live in the US of A, the United States of America, specifically Washington, D.C. And the centipedes that I have seen in America, in the States here, have been of the harmless kind. Either in the garden, sometimes in the house, brown, rather small compared to brightly colored large tropical ones, which may be poisonous. So while I wouldn't fear those centipedes, I would be wary of them, because if the bite isn't poisonous, it will probably hurt like a son of a bitch. Yes, you know it will. But why fear it if you don't understand it? Because it's of the unknown? Well, hey, have you ever just jumped right into something without reading fully what was on the label? Then that isn't exactly showing fear of the unknown, is it? I mean, you may still fear the unknown. You say, hey, maybe I'll dispel this fear by just leaping in head on. And while I admire you for trying to get over your fear, the fact is, you're not doing it very wisely now, are you? How's that working out for you? Fear just causes people to react to things very irrationally, as it is, well, irrational itself. Phobias. I can justify fears. With centipedes, yes. I can as I said, I gave you the example of a phobia of centipedes. I guess that would be myriapodophobia, fear of centipedes and millipedes. I just made that one up. I don't know if that's actually an official phobia, but it should be. Submit it to Mensa, I guess, but credit Titan Nerd 68. He said it, and you heard him. I can understand being afraid of centipedes if you were bitten by one as a child and had to go to the hospital because it was a poisonous bite. Or if your mother was bitten by a centipede, if you were on vacation in South America and a tropical centipede bit your mother and they couldn't get her adequate medical attention in time and she died. I can understand being afraid of centipedes if that is the case. I mean, obviously not all centipedes are poisonous. I just said that. You can look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. In fact, if you are afraid of centipedes, again, I implore you to look them up. Obviously, I cannot force you. But seriously, when it comes to those kinds of things, just do your fucking research. And then you won't be so scared and you'll have something to use to impress people at parties. But let's get back to the example of being bitten by a centipede and not gaining any powers they may have. Of course, then the centipede would have to have been radioactively mutated. You see, but sooner or later you'll have to get over it. Now, centipedes are fairly rare. They are, well, maybe not fairly rare, but they do keep to themselves. I mean, I certainly haven't seen too many of them in my life, just out in the open, as opposed to at an insectarium, even though technically centipedes aren't insects. I don't know, maybe you're afraid of centipedes because you played Mega Man X2 and just never could beat Magna Centipede. I just wanted to throw that one out there because it sounded funny. Ha 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 ha! Laugh! It's funny! Back on the topic of fear. There's just no reason to be afraid of anything, even the unknown. The unknown, just take a chance. The species wouldn't have gotten as far as it has if it didn't take chances. As Miss Frizzle said in the Magic School Bus, take chances, make mistakes, get messy. I'm still a motherfucking monster. But not, of course, in the incestuous definition. I like scaring people sometimes, just startling them rather. Popping out around corners, keeps them on their toes, adds a little chaos to the equation. I just love doing strange, fucked up things like that, don't you? And if you don't, well, where's your sense of adventure? But hey, I'm sure you love other things, as long as you have some passion that keeps you busy. There's just no real reason to be afraid. I say it again. It's a rant. I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to get off topic, because that's just the kind of ranter I am. Yes, take when you were a child. Remember when you were a child and maybe you thought that there was a monster under your bed or in your closet, or I used to think there was a monster under my desk. I would hear tapping noises coming from it. I later learned, well, that just happens. But, you later grow up, and most people grow up and realize the boogeyman doesn't exist. Not physically, he just exists in our heads. Or so we say. I've never actually met the boogeyman, so I can't actually honestly confirm or deny his existence, but I think you know what I'm saying here. You can apply it to all those God and Satan-fearing fools, if you will, too. I mean, I don't fear God because I don't believe he exists, and even if he does, what reason do I really have to fear him? It's not like he's going around smiting people. He hasn't done that in thousands of years. So why fear something that you know is very unlikely to hurt you? Of course, granted. Now, yes, that's another reason people may be afraid of centipedes. Well, some kinds bite. And again, if it's not poisonous, it will certainly hurt, right? Do they hurt? Well, hey, everything can go wrong. Murphy's Law, anyone? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. How do I know that? The fall out from beneath me, or the ceiling will fall and crash on me, or I'll spontaneously combust or have a heart attack, or a spider will bite me, or the ninja behind me will kill me, or, I don't know, the computer will electrocute me, or Earth will get sucked into a black hole. Darth Vader breathing. Spooky fingers right here. Spooky eyes right here. And the spooky mouth. I say it a third time, I am a motherfucking monster. But I don't really care about seeing your hands at the concert. Ha 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 ha. Yes, the metalhead just made a rap reference. I'm surrounded. I'm at an HBCU right now, so I guess you could call it osmosis. Social joke there. I am a joker. If life is a joke, I shall be a joker. But that's my philosophy. That will be another video. In short, what I am saying is, get over your fears, get over yourself. It can be done. Would you like to know what I fear? I would people who hold fast to certain ideas without question. Okay, that was a Department of Redundancy department. People who hold fast to certain ideas, especially religious and political ideas. You see, going back to all those infamous religious nut jobs, the Inquisitions, the witch hunts, the Crusades, shit like that. Those people believed that certain other people should be tortured and even killed over dumb, pointless, trivial, personal shit that did not affect them. And there are some people who believe that in some degree, maybe not quite as extreme a degree, because they know that, well, sure, God may have said in Exodus that if you come across another village where some other deity is being worshipped, you are to burn the village to the ground. Of course, you could do that nowadays because somebody else in the village, because the village disagrees with you, but of course such an act would be called, I don't know, something that starts with G and rhymes with genocide. I think you know the point I am making here. But let's leave science fiction aside. I think I've said all I really want to say, need to say. Get over yourself. Oh, and because I saw some delicious stories on fmylife.com, 3 delicious stories, in fact. 3 stories I find to be particularly delicious as the blood of a newborn baby. I will be posting rant videos on those some other time. Fairly soon, in fact. Until then, this is Titan Nerd 68 saying, stay scared, my friends. May the Force be with you. Join the heavy metal fight and ride the tiger.